present to you the ultimate, authentic, medieval audio pack with 1,000 musician orchestra, bigger sound, bigger percussion.
Or maybe not. Hello Unity developers, welcome to the authentic early medieval ages audio pack presentation. So the first question is, why medieval music? I was looking through the asset store and there were already so many packs in a variety of styles, especially epic orchestral packs, including my own, that I tried to find something that wasn't done before, or at least that wasn't as common. I'll probably end up composing some epic orchestral music anyways, but for now, I'll just stick to this. And it's also because, of that beeping sound that I decided to go for medieval music. My computer is 5 years old now and probably couldn't handle epic orchestral compositions anyways. It beeps whenever the GPU is overheating, and I have to turn on an external fan to cool it down. So what's so special about this pack? Well, the first thing to say is that I've tried to really make it as comprehensive as possible, covering soundtracks with random soundtrack generation, several other random music generation scripts, like a script with classical guitar moods, a Gregorian chant for church. There's also adaptive music that will adapt according to the action, 9 full pieces of music, 2 of which are loopable, 18 chimes or jingles to underline events in the game, multiple ambient sounds, all of them are loopable, and as a bonus, over 200 medieval sound effects. The title of my package starts with authentic. What does this mean? Well, I put a lot of effort in trying to compose music that reflects the music of that period as accurately as possible. In short, not to start a whole online course about medieval music, but before Renaissance, music was essentially monophonic, meaning that you only have a pedal tone, no chords. It would rather sound like a drone from a bagpipe with a single note and then melodies on top of that. Music was played by few musicians with only basic instruments such as basic drums, lute, recorder, bagpipe, and so forth. From what I've heard from other medieval music, either the instruments were out of place or the harmony and composition technique did not match the period. So that's why I opted for authentic medieval music, as that is where I saw a gap to fill in the Unity Asset Store. So I've listened extensively to medieval music, read a lot about harmony and composition at the time, and invested in either live or virtual instruments of that period. So here are examples of instruments that I used in this pack that were commonly used in the medieval ages. The lute, the hurdy-gurdy, the zurna, a harp, the shofar, which is the predecessor of modern brass instruments, crumhorns, which have a quite annoying sound but were very commonly used and tested my girlfriend's patience, recorder, bagpipe, and of course a variety of drums. So let's go deeper into the content of the package. The highlight of this pack is the random soundtrack generation script. I don't believe it's been done before, or at least I haven't seen anything like it on the asset store. The way it works is pretty simple. All you have to do is to open a scene in Unity. Here I've opened the Viking Village scene from a free Unity Essentials asset you can download on the asset store. You find the script entitled Random Folk Dance, drag and drop it onto an object, and then run the scene. The soundtrack will start playing only after 4 measures of music to ensure that most of the samples are loaded into memory before starting to play them. Otherwise, you could have gaps between the end of the first samples and the start of the next ones. If you stop the scene and run it again, you will have a different soundtrack playing. You may end up hearing the same melody or drum loop, but perhaps not within the same song structure, or by different instruments, or in a different order, etc. So how does the script in itself work? Well, it's based on predetermined song structures which assemble elements such as melodies, drum loops, accompaniment, and plays them in a specific order. In total, you have 4 different predetermined song structures, 16 different melodies, 8 drum loops, and 8 accompaniments. This means there are over 4,096 unique combinations. There are also a number of additional layers that I haven't included in the count, so there are even more possibilities. There are 2 other more basic random music generators. The random classical guitar soundtrack generator will randomly select between 16 short classical guitar riffs and play them one after the other. It's not exactly the sound of a lute, but buying an actual lute was outside my budget. You also have a random Gregorian chant soundtrack generator, which also selects between 16 short phrases sung in Latin. Moving on to the adaptive music script. This works almost exactly in the same way as the free script I've released in my Epic Adventure Orchestral Background Music sample pack. You also simply drag and drop it onto a Unity object, then when you run it, press I, and the exploration soft theme will start. Pressing the B key will transition from exploration to battle mode, and pressing the N key will transition back to the exploration mode. The whole script runs with booleans becoming true or false depending on keystrokes. So instead of keystrokes, you can simply set triggers in your game to make the booleans true or false. Finally, you have 9 full soundtracks, 2 of which are loopable using scripts including in the scripts folder. So that's it for the music or soundtracks. Now let's cover the part dedicated to sound effects, ambient sounds, and jingles or chimes. In the chimes folder, you will find 18 different chimes or jingles to underline events in the game such as earning a victory, suffering defeat, acquiring an item or an object, different prompts inside the game, and so on. You have 16 fully loopable ambient sounds that include sounds of a battle, a castle courtyard, a fire camp, a cave, a forest, and many more. To finish, as a bonus, you have over 200 sound effects from medieval settings. They include sounds of sword fights, cutting, stabbing someone, male character sounds such as dying, fighting, animal sounds of bears, wolves, dogs, even a dragon, sounds of various objects like a book, a flask, coins, footsteps, and so on. I don't know of any female native English speakers, so that's why there are no female sounds in this pack. The reason they are bonus and not an official part of the pack is that they come from a variety of sources. Some of them were recorded and designed directly by me. Some samples come from friends of mine or other sources. This means that the sound quality and the microphone footprint may be quite different from sample to sample. This can be detrimental to homogeneity and smoothness of a game's acoustic environment and the user experience. Since I want to provide you with only high-quality content, I do not want to cheat you into buying this pack expecting to find premium sound effects. To sum up, this pack contains a bit of everything. I could have focused only on random soundtrack generation, adaptive music, or provide a heap of full soundtrack pieces, but I preferred to include a bit of everything to make the pack very versatile and especially to get feedback on what you liked or disliked, what you find most useful, what I should focus on for future upgrades. Hopefully, if you like my work, I'll be able to invest in a new computer, new instruments, new gear, and provide you with many more audio packs like this one. Thanks for listening. Hello? Are you still there? For those of you who had the courage to watch all of that, here are a few clips showing the making of this audio pack. Bye.